Wawela Awards are aimed at recognizing the best in South African music composition and songwriting. The awards took place on Friday, the 27th of June, and artists were awarded for their work. For more, we are now joined by David Alexander. Sorry, I've got a spelling mistake here. David Alexander. And we're also here by Simpiwe Kula from the Muffins. And both of them won in respective categories. David, let's start with you. I mean, this is a brand new character. I keep on thinking character category that you won in. How does that feel?
I think it's fantastic that for the first time the publishers are being given some kind of credit for the work that they do in the background. I mean, it's great that the composers are being recognized too. That's what the Wawela Awards are about. We always have the record industry awards. So this is for the composers and which differentiates them from the artist. But it's nice that they give to the publishers who look after the composers too.
I was about to mention that because yours is a very specialized category. I mean, we all talk about publishing like we understand it, but the truth matter, it's a lot more complex than just understanding a bit of rights, isn't it?
It is, which is great. Gives us a little bit of barriers to entry in terms of getting into the business and competition. But I've been doing it now for 17 years, love it, passionate about it, and love representing the songs and the songwriters that we have. And
finally, there's recognition for it. So, people, let me bring you in here, because you're from the Muffins. Talk to me about kind of the elements of composing and talking. And I think it's so interesting what David was saying, that finally there's recognition, but in a credible kind of way.
Yeah, no, SAMRO's really done well with these awards, actually. We're very honored about it. Composing is an art form. It's its own beauty, you know, and it's good to see SAMRO, you know, invest into that. Because I mean, it's one thing to be a Beyonce and be able to sing, you know, but it's another thing to actually write a song and make it a hit, you know.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think South Africa needs to take composing very seriously because it makes the artists who they are.
In which category were you nominated?
We were nominated in Best Group or Duo of the Year.
Yeah, I see you nod your head there. It is finally time that we understand that there's so many different elements. It's almost, I feel that although we look at the artists and we can hear the amazing songs, that the back end of the industry is almost unsexy in a way.
Exactly, and it's not just the recording artists. It's the whole radio industry, television industry, advertising industry. Basically any media where you hear sound. There is a composer behind that who's applied themselves, applied their craft, and produced something that is worthwhile of your attention.
Yeah. I mean, look, SAMRO's thrown their weight behind this, but how do you find the media responding to this? I've been in a couple of conversations with a lot of people, and I have to be honest, although there's an understanding Wawela exists, it doesn't have the same it doesn't get the same enthusiastic response the way the SAMRO does.
Yeah, no, because I mean, like you said, it's very unsexy, you know. Actually a nice thing is that his speech when he won the award was that it's nice to see SAMRO recognize the guys who sit all on their own in a studio, you know, and the guys who are never seen, you know. So of course the media won't want to gravitate to that because the viewers wouldn't want to gravitate to that, you know. So I mean, it's about time that the media organizations, governments, you know, really just invest their time into those kind of people, because it is where the music starts. It's the genesis of it all.
David, I mean, publishing was added this year as a category, and I could only imagine that for somebody like you must have been a little bit frustrated when it was launched originally. Are there other aspects of the industry that we're still missing in terms of nominations the category that could be added to be a lot more representative?
Well, I think in terms of the copyrights in the music, we're getting there. The Wawela Awards are across all of the categories, pretty comprehensive, and we're pretty happy with it. And we're also grateful to SAMRO for actually organizing and supporting it.
And finally coming around.
Exactly.
I see you nodding your head there. Are there categories that we could add to be a lot more inclusive and representative?
Yeah, I mean, I think the creative or the art form of composing actually is quite vast, you know. I mean, you get a person who can actually just write a song, and then you get a person who can actually arrange the music, you know, and then you can get other people who will just do a specific part of the arrangement, you know. I mean, this is all wishful thinking for me personally as an artist, you know, but I mean, for where the Wawela Awards are now, it's a great place. It's very comprehensive. But I do feel that there are some categories out there which could, you know, inspire young people and inspire those who are in the industry, you know, to be recognized for their work.
David, in terms of that recognition, and I mean, it's always nice to be a winner. When you travel extensively and you work across different genres and principles, just your sense of where we are in connection with the rest of Africa, the rest of the world, because this seems to be a very slow wheel that's turning.
Sure, but the copyright industries in Africa are getting better. I've been traveling a lot to Kenya and to Nigeria over the last couple of years, where the copyright industries are coming along. You find societies, the equivalent of SAMRO, MCSK in Kenya or COSON in Nigeria, starting to collect comprehensive money from the users and starting to pay out to the composers and to the publishers based on usage. And that's something new. For a lot of writers on the African continent, they're so used to selling their songs for an upfront fee of $100 or $150. Because there is no residual money to be earned through a collecting society like SAMRO. Now that the collecting societies are starting to say, okay, we can pay you according to usage, they're seeing the value of retaining their rights, becoming a member of the society and collecting their dues. And what can happen is, instead of selling a song for $100 up front, you give it to an artist, a fantastic performing artist, who can launch it into the world, level, yeah. And you can earn thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars. So.
Okay, but here's my thing, and I want you, because I'm not in your space, but I understand the industry. You go to America, and even parts of Europe, you have composers that are as famous as the artists. I mean, top of the Swiss Beats. Somebody who's a composer, arranger. Kanye West was a composer, arranger. There's a lot of them, Ryan Leslie, and yet people know them. What is lacking here, some people, that we don't know who the lyricists, the arrangers are, the composers are?
I think it's the no. Well, like again, maybe media, but I think it's just that South Africa does not know, or maybe they don't understand how the industry works. I mean, like you said, your normal person wouldn't know what a publishing is or what publishing is all about, you know. I don't think the actual people realize what goes on behind the scenes, that they are actually artists who write for other artists, you know, because writing is an art on its own. It's very difficult. I mean, I write for other artists as well, and it's very, very difficult. So I think it's just a matter of South Africa knowing, you know, media making South Africa know, and that way that career path on its own could be seen as a big deal.
David, I'm going to give the last word to you. Project for me. Project for me what Wawela Awards will mean in 5 or 10 years as a winner.
Well, I think it means business over the next year to the winners. I think for the people who are writing for film, for television, for the advertising industry, it gives them something to say to their clients, that I'm being recognized by my peers. It gives us as a publishing company something to say to international African or even South African writers, to say, we're at the top of our game. Come over to us. So I think that's what Wawela does, is it gives you a year of being at the top of your game.
Gentlemen, I couldn't have said it better. Thank you very much for joining me and shedding some light on this awards, and I think opening our minds just a little bit. Winners in their respective categories at the 2014 Wawela Awards. That's David Alexander from Sheer Publishing and Mpube Kula from The Muffins. Great guys, man. Congratulations. We're taking a break. We'll be back after this.